Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Hedera and Hbar. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. But before we jump on in, I just want to ask guys, could hit that like button. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate it. So overall, I mean, the market is sitting a little bit stable. I'm not going to be trading the weekend at all. I've told you guys about this. I want to see where equities are on Monday and just basically see where the market is on Monday. I know recently everybody was getting excited about the dollar kind of doing a 180 turn, and that is great, but overall we still have to pay attention to the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, and of course the factors revolving around Bitcoin. Like for example, Bitcoin has been sitting at some significant resistance for a little bit of time, so that's an area that I'm definitely focused on. But right now, in terms of Hedera, I know that we've been kind of breaking down a little bit below the 10-cent region, but we are sitting around that area right now currently. Not really focused on price action for a lot of my holdings right now, as you guys are probably all aware of. I'm basically just accumulating. And a lot of people say that that is reckless because, we don't know if the bottom's in essentially, but hey, to me, these are long-term holds anyway, so it doesn't really matter in terms of the long-term or short-term. I know that there's a lot of you that are probably, waiting for alt season saying, when am I going to make money off of this? It feels like it's been forever. Guys, just so that you know, I still believe that we are in the extended bull run. Obviously, like I said, if you believe in the 4-year cycle, we already topped. We're basically headed down even more on this entire market. In my opinion, I think that we have one last major wave to go, and that is the wave 5 on Bitcoin, which will ultimately bring the entire market with it, and that will essentially be our alt season. So I still think that we have some time until we get to that point, most likely within the 2022 quarter 4 region. I'm definitely looking at that area, but for right now, I think that we should definitely be focused on Bitcoin and what's happening around equities. Now, with this in mind, we have been seeing a lot of news around crypto. Specifically, we've been seeing a lot of news around the proof of work POS merge with Ethereum, and a lot of people have been saying, like, what happens if this does fail? Will this essentially be yet another Luna situation where we do cascade down even more? And honestly, I just don't see this as being that significant in terms of, a thing that we need to fully focus on. I mean, if you are a holder of Ethereum or if you are looking into, investing into Ethereum, I think that this is actually very bullish for not only Ethereum, but the entire market. I think that this does, push Ethereum, into a different, sort of limelight. This actually unlocks the idea of Ethereum no longer being inflationary by design, and it really does unlock a lot of efficiencies around Ethereum. Yes, although, does it, break down the idea on, hey, Ethereum actually needed an upgrade to become, deflationary and also unlock those deficiencies? Yeah, sure, but it's also still something that is beneficial to not only Ethereum, but also this entire market. So I actually do cheer for this a little bit. I think that this is great. Of course, you guys do see exactly what happens within the proof of work chain. Why it is not that great. We do see Ethereum is inflationary. These are high operational costs for POW miners. Miners also have no stake in the network. I mean, you guys, you can pretty much read all about this if you want, but we do see our validators in a proof of stake network have less incentive to sell because, one, there are lower operational costs to run a validator. Validators have a literal stake in the network. Ethereum will often be deflationary. A common misconception is that early Beacon, chain stakers will look to take profits immediately post-merge. Some profit taking will come eventually, but withdrawals will not be enabled until the Shanghai, hard fork 6 to 12 months after the merge. There are also, there will also be an exit queue for those who unstake, so a mass exodus and the subsequent sell pressure is not possible. Block rewards will also be, illiquid until the hard fork, resulting in a daily liquid issuance of only 1,777 Ethereum compared to the 15,135 today in proof of work. So again, I do, cheer for this upgrade. I think that this is great for Ethereum. Obviously, am I, a large investor into Ethereum? No, absolutely not. In fact, I barely hold any Ethereum. When I do hold Ethereum, it's essentially sold off into NFTs on OpenSea. So again, to me, this isn't something significant just because I don't hold Ethereum. But hey, if you were looking at investing into Ethereum, maybe now would be the time to kind of look around it, especially as it is down significantly, and we are going to most likely see this merge happen within the summertime. Now, also, we did see a lot of adoption happening around Bitcoin as well. We did just see, just in Swiss wealth managers, $467 billion in assets under management. Julius, Bear, I hope that I'm saying that name right. I'm probably butchering it. To offer Bitcoin and crypto services. So this is also pretty, significant. And when we look at a lot of things happening right now around this also came from Bloomberg, by the way. You guys can go check it out. But when we look at things happening around crypto right now, it is a lot of adoption in terms of crypto services to some pretty significant management companies. Like even BlackRock has been looking at crypto services with USDC. And we also just seen House Republicans introduce a bill that protects Bitcoin and crypto investments in retirement accounts. You guys can go read it from Fox Business. But I think that we are almost at that pivotal moment in time where crypto essentially becomes mass adopted. I do welcome this. I think it's great, but I also do believe that it comes with diminished returns as more and more individuals are in it. And I know that you guys are probably going to think about that and be like, what? That makes no sense. But, basically, the more individuals that are in crypto, the less, valuable things do get because, again, at the end of the day, we will see diminished returns, similar to what we do see with Bitcoin. It doesn't mean that you're not going to, make a ton of money. Trust me, I think that the money aspect's definitely going to be there. I just think that we will ultimately see diminished, returns as more and more individuals adopt it, and the number continues to grow. But also, I just tweeted out recently, I said a large percentage of the top 100 crypto projects are completely broken. The past few weeks/months have proven this. Speculative markets are fun, but utility-driven markets will spotlight real value. And similar to what I just said recently, with diminished returns once we do see mass adoption, I don't believe that we're even near that level just yet. We will continue to see large amounts of gains throughout this entire market. Bitcoin, of course, having slightly diminished, gains year over year, or I should say bull run over bull run. But once we do get into a utility-driven market, that's where the real fun happens. And like I said, I think the last couple weeks and months have definitely proved us that, hey, the top, 100 crypto projects are definitely not the best. We've seen, Luna absolutely get decimated. We've seen, Solana go down multiple times. Ethereum, it's unscalable at its current form. Bitcoin, it's unsustainable without, of course, the Bitcoin Lightning Network. So when we look at a lot of these assets in the top 100, it's clear to me that, a lot of this is just a speculative market. I mean, I don't need to tell you guys that. I'm sure that you are all aware of this. Now, I do want to talk to you guys about the upgrade that we just seen today for Ethereum. This is actually, or not Ethereum, for Hedera. This is absolutely mind-blowing. So we do see here, basically this makes the Hedera smart contract service Ethereum interface compatible. Most Ethereum tools and libraries should work seamlessly while enjoying Hedera's insane speed and fair ordering. This is truly mind-blowing. And yeah, this is pretty huge. I actually do have a video over here that I do want to show you guys about this, but we do see we're proud to announce today the creation of HIP 482. And basically, this is going to unlock the use cases of, many things that are on MetaMask with Ethereum. You guys could go read this all you want. It really does break down everything that is enabled through this in terms of those tools and workflows and stuff like that. But I also do have the video here for you guys. So I'm just going to turn this up a little bit and have the walkthrough kind of play just to show you guys how seamless this actually is. So here you guys have it.
I'll bring up Alice's MetaMask wallet on Firefox that we just configured. We can see that the wallet correctly shows the amount of Hbar in Alice's account, but does not yet show her TFT2 balance. I want to also check the balance of Bob's account in Hashscan. I will enter his account into the search field. We can see that Bob has almost 109 Hbar in his account, but no TFT2 coin. Let's open Bob's wallet in Google Chrome. We see that Bob's wallet correctly displays the exact same amount of Hbar as Hashscan. Alice has a lot more Hbar than Bob, and feeling generous, she decides to send 99 Hbar to Bob. So, in her wallet, she clicks Send, selects Bob, enters 99 as the amount of the transfer, and then verifies the transfer details. Satisfied that they are correct, she confirms the transaction. At this point, MetaMask signs the crypto transfer and sends it to the JSON RPC relay, which then sends the transaction on to the Hedera network. Almost instantly, the transaction completes, and we see a new record appear in Hashscan.
So you guys can see exactly how fast that transaction was essentially in Bob's wallet from Alice. I mean, honestly, I think that this is great. I think that the low cost fees and things like that is definitely disruptive. I mean, I've used MetaMask multiple times with Ethereum in terms of NFTs on OpenSea, and it is rough. I think that this is extremely disruptive. I shared with you guys, it was back in September or October. It was around that time frame where we did see Smart Contracts 2.0 go live on Hedera. And I talked to you guys about the significance of that as we were seeing, trillions of dollars worth of transactions being flowed over the Ethereum network in quarter to quarter per year. And when we look at things like that, in terms of Smart Contracts 2.0, that made everything completely change. It changed the game in terms of scalability, in terms of cost of fees. I mean, honestly, when we look at things happening around Hedera, I think that we are in the building block stage of Hedera. Now, don't get discouraged. Don't say, "Oh, maybe we're too early." No. Just know that in the building blocks of Hedera, if you have been holding this asset for over a year now, like myself, you have seen almost the entire foundation of what Hedera is essentially becoming being built. We've seen projects like the Miotech, right? We just hear the project relies on Hedera, which according to the UCL consumes a tenth of the energy used by the other blockchains, which this is written by Casade. I'm hoping that I'm saying that name right. I'm probably not, but is writing about Miotech in Sol 24 Ore. When we look at things like this is actually very significant. I talked to you guys about this partnership just the other day, but the reason why I bring it back up is because I want you guys to understand how disruptive this technology actually is. And it's not just the idea that like I'm biased on Hbar just because I hold it or anything like that. No, we have been seeing it building for a very long time. We've been seeing a lot of these projects going live on Hedera, and the price action has not followed through. I've shared with you guys price action before. I've talked to you guys about how I would say overlooked Hedera actually is. I think that the price action currently, we kind of look at things around like the Ripple SEC lawsuit, right? A lot of people have said that the XRP price is actually stifled by that lawsuit. When we look at Hedera, I think that the price of Hbar is actually stifled by market perception. What I mean by that is a lot of individuals are perceiving Hedera as a boring project. It doesn't have a lot of hype around it. We're not seeing marketing, and that's fine. It actually, I actually kind of welcome that idea because before the public truly catches on to what Hedera is actually doing, it's going to be too late to actually accumulate cheap Hbar. I've been accumulating Hbar for over a year and a half. I've talked to you guys about this. I've addressed it. I know a lot of people, hate the idea of how cheap Hbar is, or, Hbar has not moved all that much, right, compared to most assets. Like, for example, I could just grab any of these assets. We'll just, grab ADA, right? So we'll grab ADA and we'll grab Hbar. So in comparison, we go to ADA and we go over to the side view over here in terms of price statistics, and we go to show more. And we see down here the ROI. Okay, the ROI is 2,277%. We see the all-time low 5 years ago. See the all-time high 9 months ago. We go to Hbar. Now, although, like I've said, in terms of price, appreciation for Hbar, it hasn't been that great. We actually do see the ROI, and we're at negative 16. We're actually down 16% in terms of ROI, compared to something like ADA, which is up 2,277%. And of course, at the height of both of these assets, still ADA was overshadowing Hbar by a ton. Yeah, you guys could actually see the all-time low up 905% at the current price. The current price of ADA, it's still up almost 3,000%. Significant profit if you got in at the all-time low 5 years ago. And you also do see the all-time high. I mean, $3.10, 57 cents. And it's at around the same exact all-time lows, by the way. I mean, this is at 1 cent for Hbar, like almost 1.5 cents for ADA. And by the way, just for everyone that thinks that the circulating supply of Hbar is a problem, it's actually not. Circulating supply, we actually have roughly about 13 billion, almost 14 billion less supply than ADA. That's not the issue. The issue, and I've said this multiple times, is ADA got basically hand-fed to the retail individuals. It's the same reason why I had Facebook friends telling me about ADA. The same reason why they were buying at $1.60 when the current price is at 51 cents. You understand exactly what the problem actually is here around Hbar. Do I believe that 50 cents was the topping point for Hbar? No, absolutely not. I think that when we look at, Hbar, give it, maybe a year from now, things are going to look extremely different. I think not even in a year from now, I think we're talking more so about like maybe even 6 months from now, things are going to look extremely different. I think market perception is easily perceived as Hbar is just another garbage coin. The price isn't reflecting at all. This project's essentially useless. I went out of it. I went into something else. I missed so many gains, so I'm not even going to look at Hbar anymore. I think that that's the market perception right now around Hedera, just as things are getting very interesting in terms of upgrades to the ecosystem, as well as major developmental, updates as well happening as well. So, in my opinion, I think that Hbar is still extremely overlooked simply because of market perception. I still believe that Hbar, is going to do some fairly well moves very soon. I'm still hodling, long term for that $3 to $6 range. I have not changed my targets at all. You guys are probably all aware of this. Everyone can still make jokes about the $3 to $6 price range, saying maybe by 2050. But hey, this is not, a market that moves fast by Monday through Friday. Yes, it's been almost a year and a half since I first bought my Hbars. But I'm still holding strong. I think that a year and a half is something that is very short term in terms of an investment. I mean, most people had to hold Amazon stock for years before it even became profitable for them. So to me, this is no different. But with that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join your free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.